How did you accumulate all of this collection of
Well,
old
I
postcards?
accumulated this because about 15 years ago, a tobacconist, local tobacconist, who lives a few miles away, 15 kilometres away, died, and his widow contacted us, and she had heaps of things that he had collected, and including all these postcards, which were thousands and thousands.
I've never seen so many. I mean, in the vide grenier, you see postcard sellers, but never. They generally have about half this stock at the most.
Well, the thing is, half of this stock, or quarter or tenth, if it were well documented and well sorted, it would be fine. But unfortunately, lots of it's still in a great heap of a muddle. So people say, do you have any postcards of Toulouse, for example? And I say, oh, if I haven't sorted a few Toulouse out, they have to rummage through this box.
Well, I suppose the first organisational job with these is with French cities and French places to put them in the
I think
correct
you're
order.
quite right.
Because people always go.
But I can, you see,
For
a little
places they know.
tiny shoebox over there took myself and another person 3 hours
Okay.
to sort. So that's a shoebox amongst 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right, 15 shoeboxes. And there's still 3 great big heaps of stuff to do.
So you've already had one open day.
Two open days.
And did you get a lot of people?
Very few people.
Not even collectors?
Well, I only advertised it a week ago, and I think people tell me it's a niche market. So none of the niches were advertised. No postcard clubs or anything. It was a general postcards, ancien postcards, and so just the local postcards collectors came round and they said, do you have any of this town? And of course I've sold all those ages ago. If there's any...
I saw you've got some over there.
Well, these are a 1950-60 reproduction. They're not a 1900s lot. And also I've got at least 300 of those because he had them. In fact, they came from somewhere else, another tobacconist whose nephew was throwing them all out of the window, an upstairs window.
Cracky, yes.
So it doesn't...
What a waste, because they're fascinating, really, aren't they?
Absolutely. And we got there in time because this particular person was next to a boulanger, and Joseph went to get his baguette, and these things were showering onto the pavement.
Okay.
So he dashed in and said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Well, rather than going up and down stairs all the time, just collecting them on the bottom." And then he said, "But of course, all the ones with writing, I'm tearing up because they're my aunts and uncles." And so we said, "Stop." So an extra lot came from that source.
When you go through them, do you stop to read the messages on the back?
Well, the romantic ones I do.
Okay.
There's, I have a lot from the First World War.
Because the golden age of postcards was about 1880, 1890 through to about 1915, wasn't it?
I think so.
And
I have a little book about it, yeah. So an awful lot with pictures of soldiers dreaming of their sweethearts, or little children saying hello daddy at a distance, and I read those.
Right.
And that stops me sorting others, you see.
Well, of course, but you could still make a separate pile of the ones that have interesting messages on them.
I could.
But the thing is, a postcard by definition is a short message, isn't it? Because you've only got one side to, or honestly, half a side to write on.
Yes. Some of them have such beautiful, exquisite writing, and I sometimes put them, and they do have a lot on it. But it's about, have you seen Cousine so-and-so? And the other day I went to, so it's a sort of that. But
Family
exquisite
matters,
writing,
yes.
you'll look at them.
Yes. Do you know what it's called, collecting postcards, the official word?
No.
Deltiology.
Deltiology. Gosh.
Hmm.
Why is it called deltiology?
Well, it comes from a Greek word, deltios, which means a small tablet for writing.
Right. Ah, okay. So what about delta? What does that mean?
I don't think that... Well, that's...
Can that fit in somewhere?
No, I don't think so. It's not the same etymology.
Not the same delta. No, I thought it might be cartography. What would cartography? That would be maps, wouldn't it? That would be maps. Yeah.
So, obviously, actually, what you could do is find postcard collecting groups on Facebook and advertise your sales there. And maybe, if you mention the quantity, people might be prepared to travel quite a long way to come and see them.
Yes, it is possible. But I used to take them when I did ordinary brocants quite regularly, and I'd take, let's say, 3 shoeboxfuls. But as they're such modest prices, like €1, I mean, they're on internet you see them at €35, but you never have a card that's €35. So even they spend about 20-30 minutes going through these things, and all the rest of your sales being neglected.
Mm-hmm. Of course, you could put them on the internet, but that would involve photographing every single card and transferring the file. It would take the rest of your life.
I think so. I don't want to say things like if I can't walk anymore, I could stay in bed. I'd have a kind of activity. But in fact, perhaps we could find an old folks' home might have an afternoon of sorting my cards. It's an idea, isn't it?
It's not a bad idea. There is one in Ligoi, isn't there?
There is, just down the road.
Yes.
I could say any volunteers for Thursday afternoon, talks about postcards with... It needs a really whole group of people.
You could say, put aside 2 or 3 postcards that you really like, and you can have them as payment for your work.
Of course.
Or something like that.
Yes.
That's a good idea.
But the financial reward is not good enough for postcards. Unless unless that's all you do and you really know what you're doing, and even then I wonder, I don't know if somebody has a career of postcards. It might be postcards plus books plus.
It must be like stamps or coins. There must be some that are more valuable than others for whatever reason.
Yes. Well, rarity usually.
Yes.
Yeah, rarity.
Marlo, what are you doing?
Marlo's looking. He's just checking up. Are you checking up?
He's having a sniff around.
Anyway. But I mean, you can certainly just random postcards. Nothing on that one. Not a good example. But if you want to look at a random one, the romantic ones, let's go. The romantic ones. Some stamped and some not stamped. Oh, well, some of them absolutely pretty well nothing on.
Amitié sincère.
Yes.
Hélène. In 1912. Marlo, stop making your whiny noises.
Here's a little more written, but and on the front of the card, it is a man sort of wandering with his hands wandering. It's a souvenir. So he's wandering, and he just says "Bonne fête."
Okay.
And she's a lady.
Bonne fête.
She's saying a little bit more. You can see what she is saying. But all of these are 1900, 1909.
Chère sœur, c'est avec plaisir que nous avons reçu ta lettre ce matin. Comme I can't read the rest of it. Comme toi, nous sommes heureuses que... I don't know. Anyway, it's family news.
Yes, some of it is that. Here's a chemin, a procession of the Chemin de Croix. That looks a bit sombre.
In Lourdes.
But yeah. Oh, well, this is a bit vaguely right. This is what fish is, and it's the 1st of April. Poisson d'avril.
Poisson d'avril. 1er avril. Oui.
Do you see what it says? Or shall I tell you? No, on the front the message is.
Oh, okay. Si le 1er avril vous apporte un poisson, cœur épris des baisers,
moisson.
Commencez?
Yes.
La moisson.
Yes. So the fish will start the thing off, but then cuddles and kisses will be the harvest.
Ah, I see.
So that's rather nice, isn't it?
Right.
That's a little bit more friendly. And here again, kisses have to be returned.
Have you thought about selling the entire stock to a dealer?
Oh, of course, but what would he give me, I ask? €100 or something, and all that fun would be gone. Yes. Yes. Well,
it's probably your. Did you say he was a tobacconist, or he probably spent decades collecting all of these?
I know, and this again brings one to thinking of why one does things, why one collects, and why one buys and sells. It's because in the end, somebody will either throw them out of the window or give them to an auction room. They won't be treasured. Many things will not be treasured. They'll start at the bottom again.
Yeah.